Hey, good morning. Welcome back to my bait cave. I hope all you guys been doing all right since the last time we talked. So somebody asked me one time that I must live on a highway because cars fly by and I'm constantly pausing my videos because I'm trying to keep the car noise out. But I'm serious. I live in a neighborhood. There's just a lot of people drive. So my street goes from one kind of major throughway back this way to another major throughway on this side. And I'm one of the only streets that goes that way. Even though the speed limit's 20 miles an hour, you got to go 50 because you guys know the rule, right? If you're taking a shortcut, you got to go fast so that it will be a shortcut, and that's what everybody seems to do. But look, I'll show y'all my street. I'm serious. They had to pause it again just now because some Yahoo was coming through here about 76, and I didn't want them to think I was filming. So anyway, that's what I get for living in a city. This wasn't a city when I moved in, but it turned into one in the 10 years that I lived here. Well, enough of that. Let's get down to some business. So, I had a few questions about. The question was is it a lot of cleanup? So there goes another one. So anyway, I won't pause that one out. Anyway, cleanup is really easy. The plastic peels right out of the cups, but it'll leave you. After a while, it just builds up like a kind of, I don't know if you can see it, but it's kind of like a little residue that sticks on there that doesn't clean off so easy. I used to use any like spray formula that would cut grease for the kitchen, and I've recently, well, I didn't recently, but remember the pandemic? They were telling everybody to buy these. Well, in typical fashion, I bought too many, and I started having to find a way to use them up before they go dry. I actually found out through trial and error that this stuff right here is a very mild formula of Clorox, and it really cuts grease. So, good Lord. So anyway, this a little really kind of wipes the cup down. I really just wipe the cup down like this. Get that in there and clean it out. And I got a bunch of these shop towels. I don't go through a lot of the shop towels because I set them aside and reuse them. When I clean a cup out like this, the shop towel is not used up, so I just kind of say that. But see, now this is clean as could be, and it's ready to go. So that's just my trick right there. Today I'm still working on some things I need for my personal use. That my bait wall has not been that empty in like forever. So one of the next colors that I appreciate, I use it a lot, is black and blue. A good friend of mine told me that you should always have a black and blue Senko loaded up on your deck or a stick bait. This is the way he put it to me when he was schooling me on the black and blue. He said it does not matter what color Senko you use as long as it's black and blue. So my normal black color is this Lure Works Black 103. I use this for about everything. I was cleaning up the other day, and I remember I used to get this stuff right here. This is not like the Lure Works where you can get a good couple drops because you have translucent charcoal and stuff. This stuff is thick. It's made by Bait Plastics, and it's really a good black. I don't know why I haven't used it in a long time. I think it's because I switched gears and started, like I said, experiment with lighter blacks to get more of a charcoal gray color instead of black. Well, I'm gonna use this today, and then I like, for the blue part, I like the bigger 062 flake. It shows up the best in black and blue. Today I'm thinking about doing some 5-inch sticks and some 10-inch curl tail or ribbon tail, whatever you call them, some 10-inch worms. In the end, I may do some tubes, I'm not sure, but that's about all I'm going to use black and blue in. I'm going to use this 262 medium blend again. All right, so I got a cup heated up. I already pulled a vacuum on it. Let's see how many drops of this black. It's been a while since I've used it. I think it's going to take about 5. Let's start with 5. Whoops. Well, I don't know what that was. So, I mean, that's probably still pretty translucent. I'm gonna give it another 5. We still want don't want it so dark that the blue flakes don't show. This might be it. Oh, I think that's going to work. So as far as the flakes go, the 062, I'm gonna use a whole half teaspoon, and y'all know I like to let it heat. Let's see what that looks like right there. Might not be enough. I don't know. Let's put a little bit more. I like to do a little at a time because you can always put some more in, but you can't take it back out. All right, let's call that good. Already put the molds in the vise. Keep the little backing plate more even. That's tight. That's going to work. Let's do these ribbon tails first. Like to hold just a little bit of pressure just to make sure it gets all the way to the back of the tails. And on the sticks, it's just got to be a nice and slow injection. You don't want to be too fast with it. Got to keep these things filled. This will prevent some dents. And also keep you from getting air right in the head. I shouldn't have said it like that. Just keep you from getting air up in the tips. I think these are cool, so I'm gonna go ahead and open them up. Let's do these sticks first. So there you go, black and blue. Simple as can be, right? But I'll keep a lot of these on the boat ready to go. It's like one of the things you want to keep rigged up on deck. Let's see how these curly tail worms come out. I like the way they came out. All right, I think I'll go ahead and do those tubes I was talking about. First thing you gotta do, we want to make sure we got plenty of oil on these rods. See, this rod is what's going to create the inside of the tube. On this particular mold, and this, I always go with this because a lot of times I'll put a swim bait hook in here, so it gives it a much more dense area up here. And also Texas rig these. But if you want them really shallow, if you're going to put a weight inside the tube, like a jig head inside of the tube, in this position right here, I would poke out right up in here, and it would hide your jig head. Whereas since I mostly Texas rig and use a swim bait hook, I bring it all the way back here, so I have a more meaty area up here in the head for my hook. So it's pretty simple. It's a good concept of a mold. This is from Angling AI. AI also has a new mold out where you don't have to cut the tails because the splines start about right here. I'm thinking about getting that one day. Right now I'm still stuck with this old school mold. I can't complain. Well, over the years it's been very good to me. So just something else, maybe some trailers. I decided maybe I had to use some of this black and blue in these rockets. Can't go wrong with that. So I got the molds and the vise, got some more plastic ready to go. That nozzle got away from me a little bit, so it may be a little darker than the other batch. That happens sometimes. But since they're not going to be in the same bag or anything, I think we'll be all right. So just a little steady flow on the injector on these tubes. Same thing with these. It's best to never get rushed with the injector. So see how that's sucking in a little bit? I'll just keep it topped off until it stops. All right, so I want to show you a little cleaning up process. And if I don't have time in this video, then I won't even put this part in, but just in case. So, perfectly clean knife. And as far as the injector goes, pretty simple. See if that's in the camera. Just push the plug out. See, that's what everybody calls the injector plug. And the top of the molds kind of just like rolls up. And I always trim this off just to give it a better look. You don't really have to trim that off, that's just me. So let's take a look at these rockets first. Rockets are a good trailer. And like I said before, I believe I Texas rig these things. So there's your black and blue rocket. I believe these are going to come in handy. I don't know, these things are good. That is a good trailer, wouldn't it? Wouldn't that look good on a jig head? Football head. A stand-up football head with a weed guard and this coming out, that would look good. Now let's take a look at these tubes. There's a little bit more to it than just a regular mold. Alright, so here's a little nomenclature. I grew up down there in South Louisiana. I actually grew up in the New Orleans area. And in one of the schools I went to, I think I was in grade school, I had a school teacher that actually called it nomenclature. And I had a cousin, Norman. So I knew it wasn't nomenclature. I knew it was nomenclature, but me being a little kid, I just copied what she said. But anyway, this little section right here, that's the only thing called a sprue from here to here. That's just where the injector fits and make sure you don't get no spillage out the side. This part right here is called a runner. So the runner is what comes down and it feeds the rest of the mold. Just thought I would clarify some of that, because I know I call it all kind of different things. So then the main reason I put so much lube on the rods, all that worm oil, is because it's very important these things come out without tearing. You don't want them to stick. And I have never been worried about getting worm oil on my hands, but a lot of people do. So they use they'll use like cooking oil, canola, or that Pam spray, and some of them even use WD-40. But I feel like, I hope I'm right, but I think well, I hope I'm right about it, but I think worm oil is harmless. Plus, it helps the skin not be so dry. Anyway, that's your tubes. I might have to break out the tube cutter and show you how to cut the skirts the old school way. All right, so this is my old school tube cutter. It's a Harbor Freight Arbor Press, which I don't even know where the attachment is anymore, but I went ahead and took the end off of it. That there's a working end on these. Maybe there is no working end. Maybe that just like pushes up in there some kind of way. But anyway, I took all that off and I made this block right here that out of a chunk of aluminum. I can't remember what size stock that was. If you're interested, I could look it up and find out for you. But anyway, I just cut a groove that I could put a set screw in on each side to hold it onto that shaft, and then I got a set of set screws on each side of the block to actually hold the blades in. And then I stacked the blades in, and I got shims to keep them separated. If I wanted a bigger gap in my, or say thicker tentacles or thicker tails, I could actually increase the size of these shims, and it would cut a wider track in them. But right now, I've been using this setup for almost about 5 years now, and this is a piece of aluminum block that I made a shim out of, so I could take up space, just use it as a spacer. And this is just a hockey puck. This is a regular old run-of-the-mill hockey puck. And the only reason that's even there is it makes my blades last longer. Because see, now they can ground out on something softer and it doesn't dull them like if it would hit a piece of wood or the aluminum block itself. I'll go ahead and show you how it works. So like I said, I've never been allergic to the worm oil, so I lube these up pretty good because it actually helps. It helps the cut. And just don't stick your finger under there, but you can help those out a little bit. And then there it is. Typical tail on a see that? That's one thing. I try to get all the way up to this groove. You can see I think I just messed up because I was on camera. But see the mold actually stops. This is the body of the tube. And the tail actually has an indent in the mold where you know what's left of the tail. And what I normally do, which I'll pay attention with this one, I try to get the tips of these right down on that line. Yeah, there you go. That's more like it. And the only thing different about if I go ahead and get a new mold from AI is I won't have to deal with, see, like right here, sometime I got to come in here and separate some of these that didn't get enough. Maybe my blades are getting dull, or sometime maybe even some of this glitter might hold up the blade a little. But I won't have to deal with these little bitty pieces either, because it would be a much better cut. I just heard another generator start up. The power's out in the neighborhood right now. A lot of people around here work from home. So, and there you have it. A set of tubes. All right, one of the last molds I wanted to shoot today with this black and blue, because I think it's a good mold, is this 3.5 inch Fathom. It's always been kind of good to me. This you heard me talk about the Fathom before. It's a really well-rounded lure. Use it as a trailer or standalone grub. Black and blues is really pretty. So while the camera was off, I went ahead and ran a few more sets of everything. Still trying to fill up my walls. Look how many empty hooks I have. And it's not just that the hooks are empty. The things I even got on hooks is just one bag. You know, it's like I don't even have an inventory of anything, basically. So I'm looking forward to knocking some of this out. Got a bunch of, I got some buzz baits that I just never finished. I got, usually once I heat up the lead pot and I like to pour everything, I usually pour a lot of these anyway, so that's just some I haven't finished. I think these were going to be some little smaller upper spins, and then I got some weighted hooks. Actually, these are some swim bait hooks I was working on. I got a little lead mold to put that weight on there like that, and I'm working on. I want to be able to drill a little bit hole in that and put an underspin on it. But yeah, I got to start really building some inventory back up. All right, so that's black and blue. See how simple that was. I hope some of you guys that are on a fence about getting started with making your own lures, you can see that. I mean, just one simple pigment, a gallon of plastic salt, and some blue flake, and there you have it. You could pick that up in a starter kit and get much more than that. You could probably, like last week I tried that green pumpkin red. I mean, that's another pigment you could throw in your basket when you're getting a starter kit. So a lot of these basic colors is just really easy. Single injector, nothing fancy. That's how I got started. I actually got started just buying an injector and a mold. Let me show you my mold. This was actually the very first mold I bought. I think I got it. Yeah, I got this either on eBay or Amazon for less than $50. And then I bought a little small injector, and I started just basically remelting my leftover plastic. It didn't really dawn on me at the time that you could buy plastisol, pigment, and glitters and all that good stuff. I really hadn't researched the hobby that much yet. All I knew was I wanted to use up my leftover or my ruined plastics. I just thought there was something better I could do with it. Well, anyway, that's about it for today. I like to let those baits sit on a tray for about 48 hours before I bag them, just to let them finish curing and they really get to their full potential. Thank you guys so much for liking, subscribing, and commenting on my YouTube videos. Once I get to that 200 subscriber mark, I'm gonna put together another giveaway. And this time my plan is to choose 2 winners and have 2 prizes for the 200. You know, and then I think when I hit 300, I'll pick 3 names for some prizes. But y'all just stay tuned for that. And if you have any questions, just go ahead and leave me a comment and hit the like button, and I'll at least try to answer your questions. And once again, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. As always, I'm the old tired veteran. You know what I'm going to say next. Get out there and go fishing. And if you need any help getting your hobby together and wanting to know about any equipment that I have or what you should be buying, don't be afraid to give me a holler. And until next time, you guys stay safe, and I will see you later. Bye.